I'm Tim Herrera with the Sacramento County Office of Education, here with another Teachers of the Year profile. We're visiting now with Heather Dolk, who is the Teacher of the Year for the River Delta Unified School District. Heather, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us, where you teach and what you teach.
I teach in the River Delta Unified School District in Rio Vista, and I teach first grade. Our community is a very small community, but very supportive.
Tell us what it's like working in a small community like that.
The kids all know your name. The parents know you. When you go to the store, you're recognized, and Miss Dolk, Miss Dolk, and but there's also great benefits. Community members want to support you and are eager to help you with programs that you want to do at the school.
So how long have you been a teacher now?
This will be my 6th year teaching in Rio Vista and teaching.
Teaching,
yeah.
Overall, okay.
Yep.
In that short amount of time, have you seen any big changes in education just in that short a span? Challenges that you face now that you didn't face in the very beginning?
Nothing huge, because it's been, relatively short period of time in comparison to a lot of my colleagues. But I think that there's bits where people are clearing their credential, which was just kind of starting when I started teaching, and it's a lot of work, but it's a great support for people. So,
are there some big challenges that you face as a teacher? Or maybe teachers in general, what are some of the big challenges they're facing today?
I think teachers in general, me included, face just having students that are used to a lot of things quickly, and helping them to realize that there's not maybe just a quick answer or a quick fix, but that there's a process, and thinking critically about things. Sometimes we are so focused on the answer that we forget about the process of thinking, and really helping students understand that learning is a process and not just an answer. That if they have that process, they can apply it to a lot of different things as opposed to just one answer or a set of answers.
So how do you work with first graders and teach them that concept where they have to work toward the answer and it's just not instantaneous?
We have 3 rules in our classroom: show respect, make good decisions, and solve problems. And that is a groundwork for being critical thinkers. It's just the beginning, but talking to students about was that a good decision, rather than having a lot of rules that tell them this is how we behave, really saying, is that a good decision? Is that showing respect? And having them think about it is one way. But then, when we are doing things, to try to apply it to other subject areas or out at the playground, or when they see something, hey, we saw that, where did we see it? What does that mean? And just exploring learning and making it across several areas so that they realize that what I learn here can also go into other things.
So it's learning in the classroom and outside the classroom too.
Yeah.
So how do you motivate students these days? Do you do anything special in your classroom to really motivate your students?
We do, at our school, we really work on character and recognizing students for character, demonstrating positive characteristics that we have posted throughout the school. In my classroom, I have a classroom store where students can get things. And as the school year goes on, the store comes out less frequently, or because it's not as needed. Students are just eager to learn. They're first graders, and so they're excited to be at school still, and just really making being at school a positive experience. We have a banner that we hang on our door when we have 100% attendance. It gets to hang outside, and they're really excited about that. And when somebody's not there, they know that, and making that being at school is important.
So what do you do for those hard to motivate students?
It looks different depending on what the student, makes the student want to work. It could be, some choice time, or really trying to find out what that student wants to learn about and incorporate that and help them to see and get excited about learning, and that maybe they're struggling in reading, but that we can read those things that you like to read, and trying to just connect them to find the love of learning, because it's there somewhere, and just finding what makes them want to learn, and exploring that with them.
Now, we've talked about motivating students, but what about motivating families? Because parental involvement is really important in school.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things that you try to do to encourage parental involvement for your students and their families?
You know, encouraging parents to come into the classroom if they can. You know, I know that parents have busy schedules and lives, and so whenever they can come in, that's great. But also, I try at least once a year to put some kind of family night on, focused on literacy or math, and helping them to come with their families and their student and participate in learning games, so that, you know, the classroom is theirs too, and that the learning doesn't just happen in the classroom, but it continues at home, and really helping them understand the importance, and making sure that I'm communicating with them as to what we're doing in the classroom and what they can do at home to continue those things that I can't do in the classroom with 20 kids, but that they could do with their one child. And just really making sure to keep the communication open so that they know that the classroom is theirs too.
So parental involvement is really key, because it helps you in the classroom as much as it does them at home.
Yeah, and it helps the students to be excited when they, you know, first grade, they still enjoy their parents, and they get excited when their parent comes, and when other kids think that their parent is really cool because they're in the classroom and they get to read to their parent, or so it encourages the students too.
At first grade, they still think their parents are cool.
Yeah,
that's right.
They still want their parents there.
That's
you know,
right.
it changes later. But.
It does. Well, what inspired you to be a teacher? What brought you to the profession?
I had an amazing teacher that really inspired me, and made a difference in my educational career, and that inspired me because I wanted to do that for other children. She helped me to believe in myself, and that even though learning looked different for me, I could still do it. And so I want to provide that for my students.
Had you always wanted to be a teacher?
You know, there were times that I wanted to be a teacher, but there was times that I wanted to be a doctor too. So, but I think ultimately, yes, I always wanted to be a teacher. It was always something that was there. And then when I went to college, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do, and I started volunteering right away, and just decided that that was what I was going to do. And I never looked back. It's been great.
So what was your reaction when you found out that you were your district's Teacher of the Year?
Oh.
How did you find out? What did they do?
The superintendent called me because we were already out of school. And so he called me. And I was grateful, but I also felt that there were many other teachers in our district that deserve it just as much. And that I couldn't be Teacher of the Year or the teacher I am without my colleagues who support me and help on a daily basis.
Yeah. So what would you say to those people out there who are considering being a teacher but aren't quite sure? I mean, what are some of the things you could say to convince them that they should consider this profession?
In teaching, no 2 days are ever the same, that it's always different, and that you have the opportunity to make a difference. If something didn't go right that one time you taught the lesson, that you could reteach it the next day, and the next year you get to do it completely different. That teaching is a profession where you're always learning and growing. It's a place where you can make a difference and change and give back. You know, we've been given a great gift of being educated by wonderful teachers, and to be able to give back to the students and provide them the opportunity to reach their goals and that they have for themselves, or the goals that they will have for themselves later.
Do you find any of your students saying that they'd like to be teachers just like you when they grow up?
Yes, yeah. You know, and teaching has many rewards. It can be parents coming and telling you, you know, my son or daughter has grown tremendously this year, or kids bringing you flowers from, you know, the field at recess, and, you know, but ultimately seeing the kids grow and learn, and seeing kids say, oh, I want to do this, because they see that it's an exciting thing, and that they respect you and want to provide for somebody else what you've provided them.
That's got to be very gratifying.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate your time, and congratulations to you again. We've been
Thank
speaking
you.
with Heather Dolk, who is the Teacher of the Year for the River Delta Unified School District for 2010. Congratulations.
Thank you.